Coming up on NewsDepth, we break down the biggest news into teachable lessons. We invite young minds into the conversation with weekly polls and write-in questions. Do you love science, history, or the arts? NewsDepth's got you covered. What's that, NewsHound? You found a new animal story for us? NewsDepth is now.
Voters across the U.S. are getting ready to cast their ballot. Hello, everybody. I'm Rick Jackson. Thank you for joining us. Tuesday, November 8th, is Election Day, and Ohioans will be choosing who will be the leader of our state for the next 4 years. The candidates are Governor Mike DeWine, the Republican incumbent running for re-election, and Nan Whaley, the Democratic candidate for Ohio governor. Incumbent means currently in office.
The President of the United States gets a lot of attention. But what about the President of just a single state? Ever heard of them? Okay, so that's not actually the right title, but I'm talking about governors. Each state has a governor who's in charge of it. And like the President, these guys or gals hold some big powers.
Astronomers are peering deeper and deeper into space with the clearest vision ever, thanks to the James Webb Telescope. Part of the telescope's mission is to look for planets outside our solar system. They're called exoplanets.
Thank you, Jeff. Now, the telescope is making amazing discoveries every day, and each new planet and host star needs to be named. For this week's question, we want to know, what name would you give to one of those planets? Go to our website and share your otherworldly names, and don't forget to add your explanation of why you picked it. For last week's episode, we asked you why it was important to put an emphasis on accessibility. Let's see what you had to say by opening our inbox. Molly from Botkins Local School in Botkins wrote, "Dear NewsDepth, here's why I think it is important to put an emphasis on accessibility. First, people shouldn't feel left out no matter what. And I think it's great that there's a park for any kind of kid so kids don't feel left out. Also, you can make new friends with someone you thought you would never make friends with." Joshua from Orville Middle School in Orville knows what he's talking about. Accessibility is important because without physical accessibility, you can't do a lot of things others can, and that will cause too many problems. Lingual accessibility is important because if we can't talk to each other, then we can't do as much and get as much done.
The museum is a family affair, started from a lifelong collection and passion for trains. Getting everything up and running took the Elish family about 15 years.
You know, simple traditions with your family can lead to national recognition sometimes, and even a future career. That is certainly the case for this Lakewood High student studying culinary arts at the West Shore Career Technical Center in Lakewood. This week's A+ award goes to Reagan, who is currently a senior and recently placed third in the Family Career and Community Leaders of America National Competition in San Diego. Reagan told us that she started cooking with her grandmothers at a young age. Her family used to get together for the holidays in Columbus because it was halfway between Cleveland and Indiana. During the celebration, she would help out in the kitchen and remembers being inspired by all of the delicious treats. Reagan told us that some of her favorite treats were her grandmother's cookies and sausage balls, which she described by saying, "Oh my gosh, they were so good." Sounds delicious if you ask me.
There's a first for everything, and this determined Grandma made history by being the first woman to hike the entire Appalachian Trail. Her name is Emma Gatewood, but is most famously known as Grandma Gatewood. Grandma Gatewood was born October 25th, 1887 in Gallia County in southeastern Ohio.
Okay, the episode's almost over, but before we go, we need to check in with NewsHound, see what he's been working on for this week's petting zoo. Hey NewsHound, out for a walk? You must be getting your steps in after watching some of the stories we had earlier. So what'd you find this week? Oh, a dog library where you can share toys and treats. Well, to meet the dog who inspired this neighborhood project, click the petting zoo button on our website. And thank you, NewsHound.
You can catch the latest episodes of NewsDepth on WVIZ or online at ideastream.org.